In the deep, deep depths of the ocean lives a family of mermaids. A little mermaid princess named Ellie told her grandmother that her dream was to surface and see the world above. Her grandmother told her that since ancient times, mermaids have had an ancestral rule: whether boy or girl, royalty or commoner, they must wait until they are 15 years old to surface. Finally, Princess Ellie turned 15 years old. She could at last fulfill her wish and see what the world under the sunlight looked like. On a tranquil night, Ellie, feeling both excited and nervous, slowly surfaced. The endless sea merged with the sky, with a bright moon and countless stars filling the sky. Princess Ellie was amazed by the beautiful scenery before her. She swam aimlessly, and in the distance, she saw a large ship sailing towards her. Yes, a ship. She had seen them before from the depths of the sea. So, she swam towards the ship. After approaching the large ship, Ellie swam around it. Wow! Is this what humans look like? Ellie saw a handsome young man wearing a crown standing on the ship. Ellie thought to herself, he must be a prince, right? He looks so handsome. Ellie was captivated by the prince's handsome appearance. Suddenly, the sky was filled with swirling clouds and fierce winds. Ellie was overwhelmed with fear by the sight. Giant waves rose on the sea, causing the big ship to sink, and the prince fell into the water. Without hesitation, Ellie swam forward and rescued the prince. Ellie placed the prince on the beach and watched over him all night, but he remained unconscious. Anxiously, she began to hum a special melody unique to mermaids. Finally, the prince was awakened by the mermaid's song, and the sky began to lighten with the dawn. Just then, footsteps were heard on the beach. Ellie saw someone walking in their direction and quickly hid in fear. When the prince opened his eyes, he saw a beautiful princess sitting in front of him and thought it was she who had saved him. Hiding to the side, Ellie watched as the prince and the other princess walked farther and farther away. She felt very anxious and wanted to tell the prince that she was the one who had kept him company all night. However, she didn't have the courage because she knew she was not human and feared she might scare the prince. Ellie went to the sea witch for help, hoping to turn her fish tail into legs. The sea witch promised to turn Ellie's fish tail into legs, but the price was Ellie's beautiful and melodious voice. The sea witch gave Ellie the potion and warned her repeatedly that if she became human, a broken heart would cause her to turn into foam at dawn and disappear from this world. Hoping to be with the prince, Ellie resolutely exchanged her beautiful and melodious voice with the sea witch and left with the potion she received in return. Ellie swam to the beach with the potion and drank it with boundless hope. She immediately felt as if her fish tail was being sawed apart. The pain was excruciating, and the intense agony caused Ellie to faint. The prince discovered Ellie. He felt as though he had seen the girl before, but he couldn't remember where. So, the prince took Ellie back to the palace and called her the girl from his dreams. Even though every step felt like walking on the tip of a knife, Ellie endured the pain and forced a smile as long as she could be with the prince. However, the prince never fell in love with Ellie. Whenever the other princess came to the palace, the prince would always be by her side, and the way he looked at her was very special. Ellie lived in the human world, and although she lived with the prince, she still felt very lonely. Finally, Ellie heard the words she least wanted to hear. The prince told her, "I am getting married to that beautiful princess from the neighboring kingdom." Ellie felt as if she could hear the sound of her heart breaking. Ellie sat sadly by the sea, knowing that tomorrow she would turn into foam in the morning light and disappear from this world. Ellie's sisters sensed their little sister's sadness, so they swam to the surface of the sea. One of her sisters held a short knife in her hand and told Ellie, "If you plunge this knife into the prince's chest and let his blood flow onto your legs will turn back into a fish tail. The curse will be broken, and everything will return to the way it was before." Ellie walked to the prince's bedside with the knife in her hand. Looking at the prince's handsome face, she couldn't bring herself to kill him. As dawn broke, Ellie threw the knife into the sea. She stood on the castle and welcomed the first light of the morning. She felt her body becoming lighter and slowly floating up. She saw her body gradually turn transparent, and finally, her vision was obscured by a cloud of foam. Girls, Ellie's story teaches us 9 lessons. First, choose the right person to love. The little mermaid Ellie fell in love with a prince who wasn't right for her. This teaches us that love shouldn't be based solely on appearances. We need to make rational judgments and not lose ourselves in a moment of infatuation. Second, respect love, but don't sacrifice blindly. Ellie gave up her voice and her life for love, but it wasn't worth it. Love is beautiful, but it shouldn't be a reason for blind sacrifice. Love should be about mutual fulfillment, not self-destruction. Third, love yourself first. The story reminds us that self-love is paramount. To love someone, you must first learn to love yourself. Ellie didn't learn to truly love herself before falling for the prince. Only by loving yourself first can you love others in a healthy way. Fourth, respect your own body and soul. Changing yourself for love, even to the point of giving up your essence, is a sign of disrespect to yourself. The story teaches us to respect our bodies and souls and not to easily change our essence for someone else. Ellie cut off her fish tail to become human and forced herself into a world that didn't belong to her, but she still wasn't truly human. Our bodies and hair are gifts from our parents. Girls, please cherish and take care of your bodies. Fifth, learn to let go and seek true happiness. Ellie ultimately chose not to harm the prince and instead let go, which shows her understanding of love and respect. In real life, if someone doesn't love you back, learn to let go. Life is long, and there will be someone who truly loves you. Sixth, be strong and own your life. While Ellie's courage is commendable, her lack of independence is not. Everyone should be the master of their own life, not swayed by love. Strengthen your inner self and pursue your dreams without being constrained by love. Seventh, the most important thing in love is mutual care. Don't waste your youth or even sacrifice your life for someone who doesn't love you. Someone who truly loves you would never allow you to harm yourself to please them. Eighth, life is full of possibilities. Ellie thought the prince was her only hope, but life has infinite possibilities. The story reminds us not to place all our hopes on one person, as there are countless beautiful things waiting for us to discover. Ninth, be independent and brave in pursuing dreams. Ellie's bravery is praiseworthy, but she lacked independence. Modern girls should be courageous like her in pursuing their dreams, but also be independent and not rely on someone else's love to define their life. So, girls, remember, let those who don't love you go away. Only by leaving those who don't love you can you welcome those who do. Someone who truly loves you won't care whether you are human or a fish.